So recently, I made a video about books that I have reread, and I want to continue it. I want to keep going, keep rereading. As we know, my new goal and dream is to intimately know all the books in my library, mostly, mostly all the books in my library. And to do that, I need to reread them. And so I was thinking, what books? What books do I think might be a high priority to read? Which ones? And I looked through my list, I looked through my shelves, and I picked some out. So today I'm going to show you books I want to reread. There's no time frame. Okay, relax. But at some point, I'd like to reread these and probably reread them again. All right, let's start. So first, it's not really one book, but it's an author. And that author is C.S. Lewis. I love his writing so much. He does have so much that I have not read. And what I have read, I want to reread. For example, this guy, Experiment in Criticism. I think I probably read it twice already. But I want to do it again because I feel like every 5 to 10 years, I'm a new lady. And then I have to reread all my books through my new lady lens. So I'm going to reread this one. The books I haven't yet read by him, I want to read and then reread. He, I think, will be a lifelong companion. He has a lot of literary criticism I have not read. I'm behind. I'm always, no, I'm not behind. I am right where I need to be with lots of good things to come. And a lot of them are going to be C.S. Lewis. Okay, next. This one, as you saw in my monthly reads, I finished reading the Iliad. Took 3 months. I read it with some friends. Great experience. Okay, and even by the end, I felt, wow, I could just read it by the end and understand what was happening because I knew the names, I knew the vibe, I knew kind of what was going on, and they give you a lot of hints throughout the story about what's going to happen. So it's easier the further you go along. But now that I've read it once, I feel so much better equipped to read it again. And so I do look forward to my next reread of this. Is it going to be very soon? Probably not. I'll probably give it a minute. But I feel like there's so much, especially at the beginning, that I didn't quite get. So this would be a really, really good one for me to reread. And study in a new way. Maybe I'll find books I can read about it or something. I don't know. And there's also the Odyssey. It'll be coming. Okay, kind of along a similar vein to the Iliad is the Divine Comedy. Similar as in it is a epic poem that was a little confusing. This one I feel like felt more confusing than the Iliad, but also I read this one alone about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's so different. Oh, I have more. And it's so different when you read something alone versus when you read it with people. And I know that this has just some pure gold in it. And I feel like I didn't find it the first time. So I need to do this again. Another one that I do want to reread, and that definitely needs some rereading, is Paradise Lost by John Milton. Now, I'm not even 100% confident I read this whole thing. I think I've read most of it, but obviously I have not read it enough because I can't remember it. There's some sections I have studied, so I feel like I know little clips of it, but this is also just going to be a delicious, delicious treat. And this one is not translated, so that's fun. That is fun. And also this edition is pretty fun, but kind of hard to read maybe because it's so tight, you know? You have to like always hold it open. Don't love that. But maybe I'll read this soon. I don't know. We'll see. Some more books on my need to reread shelf, metaphorically. Okay, Fantastes, A Fairy Romance by George MacDonald. This one I I'd heard incredible things. I got it, read it one sitting really quick. No idea what happened. And I just don't know what happened. I was very confused, and I know that I just didn't get it. I need to put more time into this. Or maybe, because it was maybe 3 years ago I read it. And I really feel like in the last year or two, I really have begun to understand some things. And I think those things will help me read this. So I want to try this one again. And I might try this one soon. And now that I think I've said that about every book. But this one is short. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there is a literary life series on this. And that would be very helpful. So, Fantasties, A Fairy Romance, George MacDonald. Another thing I want to reread is this novel. Okay, Middlemarch. I also got distracted during this novel. And I want to give it its due. I feel like it deserves much more than I gave it. And I want to show it that. And it's not even that long. I mean, it's long, but it's not long. And I love novels like this, but I think it was just a weird time. I slowed down too much in the middle, kind of forgot what was happening. And I know people who love this, and I want to love it too. So I need to give it another chance. Middlemarch by George Eliot. Okay. Also, I don't have any of these books down here because, well, I just forgot to get them. And now it's too late. I'm back. One of the authors that every book I just love. You read it and I'm like, oh, this is delicious and dreamy. And the beautiful descriptions of the landscape and the devastating portrayal of the characters and I don't know, it just gets me every time. And those are, that author is Thomas Hardy. Okay, gosh, I love the man. Gosh, I love him. Have I read all of these? I've read Far from the Madding Crowd, I've read The Mayor of Casterbridge, I've read Tess of the D'Urbervilles. Okay, I've read these three. Oh, you can see nothing. I've read these three. Have not read Return of the Native or Jude the Obscure. So I'm looking forward to reading those two and then rereading them. I have read Tess twice. And it's just never enough. It's never enough. Anyway, I love Thomas Hardy. And I want to reread the things that I love because they are so good. It's so good to fill your life with things you love. And honestly, the last note I have is that although I'm showing you these handful of books that I'm keen to reread in the future, keen to reread soon, the truth is, I want to reread them all. And that's my dream, that's my vision for my library, is to know them, to read them once, to read them again, to know them over and over and over again. When does anyone have time for a new book? I'll never understand. And yet I keep reading them. That's where I'm at. Stuck in the middle. Anyway. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Pretty please like. I want to hear about things you've reread, things you want to reread. Do you reread your fave books? Do you love them and leave them? Scandalous. If you haven't read Thomas Hardy, do yourself a favor. Read Tess. Read Tess of the D'Urbervilles. If you have read Thomas Hardy and you have a favorite, let me know which one it is. I'm very interested. I'm very keen to hear. And that's it, I think. I think that's it. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you read today. I hope you go to the beach. That's my dream for you. Goodbye.